In my family, we like to spend time together watching movies and having conversations at the dinner table. Oftentimes, we discuss current social issues. Throughout my years of growing up, my dad frequently expressed his disdain for how Asian people were portrayed on screen. That is, if we got any screen time at all. He'd scoff and say things like, "We're either the nerdy Asian IT guy, the martial artist, or the janitor. Nothing else. The women are just prizes for the white guys." It is comments like these that have made me pay closer attention to Asian representation. I've realized that in Western-made films, people who look like me are hardly portrayed in movies and TV shows in comparison to white people. Plus, when they are, it is usually just minor supporting roles that perpetuate Asian stereotypes. For a very long time, Hollywood and mainstream Western media have been known to cast and cater to white people due to the fact that they're mainly the ones making the movies. A 2015 analysis showed that 83% of directors were white males. Along with other minorities, Asians hardly get any roles. If we did, we were typecasted into racial tropes with minor parts. There's the strict but sexy exotic dragon lady, the submissive cute Asian woman, the nerdy Asian dude who gets no girls, the doctor, the emasculate brown guy with a thick accent, the martial artist who is only judged on his ability to kick some butt, etc. We have recently been seeing Asian people get more stereotype-resisting roles over the years, but they are still pretty rare and our main representations are still limited to our stereotypes. A 2014 sample study showed that only 1.4% of lead characters were Asian. The success from productions like Fresh Off the Boat, Kim's Convenience, Crazy Rich Asians, and Always Be My Maybe showed just how representation deprived the Asian community was. Asian leads are more than capable of executing stellar performances and appealing to the public, so why are we rarely given the chance? Representation matters because it is a reflection of our reality. If we are only made out to be just token, over-sexualized, inferior, emasculate, and nerdy, society can mirror that, and it would affect how both Asian people and non-Asian people would feel and act towards this race. In school, I've heard my fair share of racist remarks too, even if they were just jokes. Asian guys in my class were shamed by being implied that they had smaller sizes. My good grades in math were equated to the fact that I was Asian. Those who did not do so well were made to feel as if they weren't Asian enough by our peers. The onset of COVID-19 had people asking me and other East or Southeast Asian peers if we liked bat soup or had the virus. On social media, you'd hear about horrible racial acts of violence against Asians due to irrational fears. The list goes on and on. I believe that a lot of these things trace back to the model minority myth, stereotypes in the media, and alienation, all of which can lead to discrimination and other negative impacts on Asian people. The model minority myth was a term created in the 60s that painted Asian people as the successful minority who had made it in North America in order to disregard the racial injustices other groups like black people were experiencing. This myth is already horribly anti-black since it pits races against each other. The black experience and Asian experience are entirely different. Asian people do not have centuries worth of slavery that we need to heal from. But anyway, perceiving Asians all as well off may seem positive at first, but it sets a very high standard that could make us feel like that if we do not meet the stereotypical level of achievement, we do not fit into our ethnic or racial group. It groups us together and disregards our differences, struggles, and needs. When problems are overlooked, how can they receive aid? Bhutanese, Cambodians, and Hmong populations in America experience significantly higher rates of poverty and educational outcomes. We're not all well off. The vice president of grant-making programs at the William T. Grant Foundation states that many grant-making agencies do not consider Asian Americans an at-risk group. How could we secure funding for research projects focused on neglected Asian subgroups? There is also the subtle idea that Asians are foreigners that belong in Asia even if we are born or had lived here for years. In a place where white is the norm, Asians are seen as an other. This is displayed in the small things people say, such as, "Where are you really from?" or "Your English is so good." We're made out to be assimilated better than other ethnic groups, but also too foreign to really belong. Such an attitude shows that Asian people are still not fully accepted in Western society, and this can be really detrimental to one's mental health by affecting their sense of identity and belonging. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that there's a lot of room for improvement in how society views Asian people. The model minority myth is detrimental, false, and has racist roots. Stereotypes and expectations can negatively impact how Asian people feel about themselves and how other races view us as well. The media makes us out to be as one homogeneous, successful, but irrelevant group. But in reality, the Asian community is full of all kinds of different ethnicities, traditions, and stories, each with their own unique struggles and problems within their subgroups. We need to see more films and literature made by and including Asian people playing different lead roles and telling their own stories in order to dismantle harmful and limiting stereotypes. So, we can be the hero, the lover, the life of the party, and the billionaire. We're just itching to be given the chance.